Well, good evening and welcome once again to Letchworth Cable Access. I'm Kyle Adamczak, and what you're looking at on your screen is a photograph of our guest tonight. She's in Haiti. She's the woman in the center of the group with the white blouse, and it's Pastor Barbara Mosher, who's the pastor at the Gainesville United Methodist Church in Gainesville, New York. And tell us about this photo. What is it we're looking at? Where was it taken?
This is my class this year, taken in Port-au-Prince at the Free Methodist Bible College.
Port-au-Prince where? Haiti?
Port-au-Prince, Haiti, right.
And you were in Haiti in February of this year.
That's right. I was there about a week, and I was teaching the parables of Jesus to this class. Last year I taught the same class, Jesus' Sermon on the Mount, and this year we were doing an in-depth study of the parables.
Okay, now how many, was this a mission trip? Or?
A mission trip for me. I did travel with another group, but then I'm on my own for this.
Mm-hmm. Now how many of these trips have you taken to Haiti?
I've been there 7 years. This was my 7th trip to Haiti.
Now, were you sponsored by some organization, or did you go independently?
I go independently. I do go through the Free Methodist World Missions.
So you're through that organization?
Right. That's right.
Makes the arrangements?
I have to be accepted to go there. And
so you didn't just show up and say, I'm here?
No, I was invited by the missionaries over there to come over. And then I go through that organization and fill out the forms and go through them.
Now, these students that you're teaching, they're studying for what?
They're
Theology?
studying to be pastors.
Yes. Now, you've been going 7 years. Is this the same institution you've been teaching at, or?
When I first went, I was not teaching, but the last 6 times I've taught. And this class, this is their 2nd year there.
So were there return students from your trip last year?
Right.
Now, we have a number of photographs you brought to us from Haiti. And we have this triptych, I guess you could call it.
This is the classroom. I was standing up front and took a picture of the class. Of course, you can't see the ones in the back very well, but just kind of gives you an idea. 14 men and 3 women. They're
dressed up quite a bit, or jacket, suit and tie.
Yes, they definitely.
Wearing neckties. Mm-hmm. They're taking it seriously.
Right. They definitely dress up when they go out, especially.
Now, you told us there's a story behind this photo here. Now let's get the photo on the screen first.
Okay.
And there's a man with an accordion.
Right.
And the story behind this photo is?
Right. I received an email from the director of the Bible College telling me to bring an accordion when I came. And I thought, what? It's not like you have accordions just sitting around the house somewhere, you know. And they're expensive. And I thought, well, I don't know where I'm going to get an accordion. So I emailed him back that I probably couldn't bring one. They're large. It's hard to take them. And that it would be better for him to try and get one there. And I kind of forgot about it. Then about, 10 days before I was going to go, I thought, I better start praying about that because he did ask for an accordion.
Now, did they ask, well, I don't want to spoil your story, but were they asking for a musical instrument accordion or an accordion file? Or?
Oh, a musical instrument, an accordion, yeah.
That's exactly what they wanted, wasn't it?
Yes, they did. Because that's what they use there for music quite a lot.
Yes, I see.
And so then I started asking people, trying to track one down or find one that maybe I could buy cheaply or if someone would donate it. Ran into someone at the Y, and she said, try Roxy Music Store in Batavia. Mm-hmm. And I thought, okay, I only had about 3 days before I was going to go, so I called over there, and the woman that runs that store is named Rose. And
Rose, yes.
I asked her about an accordion, and she said, yes. I'll get you one. I have one you can take, so and can have. She was going to give it to me free, so I thought, wow, this is great. Well, then we had a big snowstorm, and I didn't know she was going to send it over with someone that worked there. But sure enough, on Thursday there was the accordion, and I called and thanked her, and she said that she had prayed about it and looked around the store and hadn't found one that really suited, and then a man had come in with that accordion. He had borrowed it while they fixed his, and she saw that accordion and she said, that's the one. And so she got it a case and sent it. And
so she shipped it for you?
No, she just sent it back with him to my house in Warsaw. But when I got to the airport with the group that I was going with, they found out we were going on a mission trip, and Delta waived all the extra charges for the extra things that you take.
So did you lug it into the cabin with you, or did they put
Just
it in cargo?
No, it was in a regular suitcase thing of it, and they put it in with the other suitcases. It just tagged it and went along with them.
So you got it down to Haiti, and this man was quite pleased with it.
Right, and when I went in, I told the class, when I left the class last year, they gave me a big plaque that said, delight yourself in the Lord and he will give you the desires of your heart. And I said, that really happened, and I have an accordion for you. And this man just came up, took it, and started playing, because they just play by ear.
Ear, yes. Well, that's a nice story, and that was awfully nice of Rose at Roxy Music Store.
Right.
To help you with that task.
I was really delighted. It was a lot of fun when that happened.
Yes. Now we have this photo here. What do we?
Okay, he's playing the accordion, and up front is a woman pastor, and there aren't too many of them, but they're beginning to have more of them. And I called her up front to help with the singing.
Now, the students that you teach in that school, the photograph we saw earlier, are they all the students in that school? Is it a small school, or is it a large?
Yes, they're the only ones that are there at this time.
Is it like a one-room schoolhouse, the building that you taught in?
There's just 2 classrooms at this time, at this point. And there's offices down on a lower level, 2 classrooms upstairs, a kitchen, and bathrooms.
And who runs the school?
The director is George Valcourt, and he also is an engineer, so he does other things too.
But is it accredited? I mean, how is it?
Yes.
The
course I give is accredited also.
Yes, but I mean, is it run by the United Methodist Church, or?
It would be the Free Methodist Church.
Yes.
Yes, and they have a standard that they have to go by, but I am not sure exactly how their credit works, but they are accredited.
All right, we have this photo.
That's my translator. I worked with a translator.
And what was
is his name, and have a good time.
Now, they speak French in Haiti?
French Creole.
French Creole. Now, have you learned any of the French Creole?
Oh, just a few sentences, just a few things to say.
Okay, see, if you needed help, would you know how to say that in French Creole, or what can you tell us?
Comment ouye, how are you? I'd have to start thinking of it again, but I sort of pick it up when I'm there.
All right, we have this photo.
Oh, they loved to sing, and he was playing the accordion, and we were all singing, and they were worshiping and having a good time.
They are enthusiastic.
Right.
And we have this photo here.
Right. The director came up after we were singing and told them that he was surprised that we just didn't all raise right up to heaven. He thought the singing was so heavenly.
Yes. Now, did you sing in English, or was it French?
They were singing in Creole and in French, and I was singing in English.
So they were singing hymns that would be familiar to
Right,
Americans?
they were. We were singing, I have decided to follow Jesus. They did sing that in English. I taught them that in English, so we all sang that in English. But they were singing How Great Thou Art in their language, and I was singing it in mine.
If you're just tuning in tonight, our guest is Pastor Barbara Mosher, who's the pastor at the Gainesville United Methodist Church. And she's talking about her mission trip, which was her 8th, you said? Seventh
Right.
to Haiti. Did you feel welcome while you were in Haiti?
Always. I always feel very welcome. Yes.
By the people?
Yes.
Now,
They're very kind and loving and friendly, and they always enjoy having me, enjoy having Americans,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's a good time being there.
What about the government? Did you have any interaction with any officials or government officials?
No.
I mean,
No, not really, but they do say that the government doesn't do anything for them.
uh-huh.
And the city government there was expanding the road. The church, the Free Methodist Church there was on Delmas Avenue, which is their main avenue through there, and the city was expanding that and just simply chopped off half the church.
Well, you have pictures of that later down in this pile, don't you?
Right. There's a little bit
Okay.
more later.
You said that this year you were teaching the parables of Jesus. Now, why
Right.
don't you refresh us what those are? I mean, just a quick rundown.
Jesus' way of teaching was often by telling a story that had a deeper meaning. And so those are called parables.
So he would tell a story to illustrate a point.
Right. And well-known parables, most by everyone, would be the prodigal son or the Good Samaritan, and many, many more parables, of course.
Now, did you focus on a specific one, or did you go through
No, we
them
went
all?
through a lot of them. And I went through with a model, and you started with the name of the parable and where it was found in the scripture, then the setting for the parable. Then the next question was, what was the question asked, or what was the reason for the parable, or what problem was it answering? And then they have to figure out from the parable how that answered the problem, and then how it would apply to their life or to their culture today.
Now, some of them people find difficult to swallow.
Right.
Did you run into that?
Yes, some of them are.
And did you run into that down in Haiti?
Yes.
And which ones did they have difficult?
The same ones.
For want
that,
of a better word.
the same ones that we have difficult. The good.
In the United
the
States.
steward, the one where the steward commends or the master commends the steward for cheating, actually.
Well, okay. Why don't you refresh us about that one, the steward?
All right. The master finds out that the steward has been cheating him.
A rich man, and the steward manages his affairs.
Right, that's exactly right. Yes, the rich man, the steward manages his affairs, and he comes home. The rich man comes back after being away and finds out that the steward has mismanaged his affairs, and he's going to have to leave. So the steward goes out and finds all the people that owe the master money, that owe the rich man money, and he changes how much they owe. So he's actually, in our thought, cheating, you know. He changes that, and when the rich man, the master, finds out, he commends him for being shrewd. Then the reason that the steward does that is because he says, I'm too old to work in labor, and I'm too proud to beg. So when I get finished here, I've got to have some place that will take me in. I've got to find some place, people that will take care of me, or where I can work. And so he goes to these people that owe money, and he cuts it way back so they owe less.
So
And we would think that just doesn't seem right.
So he collected short. So say one of the guys owed $200. He said, if you pay $100, we'll settle for that.
Yes.
And then was he skimming off? Or?
He just he was giving them a break, so to speak, but then so that they would then take him under their wing when he had to leave there.
I see. So he does that. The rich man finds out.
And actually commends the man,
The steward.
the steward, he commends the steward for being shrewd.
Uh-huh.
And so that's very difficult to take and to understand that one.
So what was the Jesus point with that story?
The point was not that it was good for me doing that, but was to set up your life in such a way that you could move on in your life. You could advance it. If you put a spiritual touch to it, you could advance in the spirit, or you would advance. It was more or less do things with your life that would promote your interest in the Lord. But it was a hard one to come across with.
Mm-hmm. Well, if there's some of you watching that are still questioning that, maybe you can contact Pastor Barb and discuss it some more, or your own clergyman or woman.
Right.
Well, here's another photo. What do we have here? What do we have in this photo?
Okay, this is the orphanage.
And where was this near where you taught?
No, this took probably an hour or more to get up there. It was a place north of where they call Patientville.
And what did you have to do with the orphanage while you
Well,
were
I
there?
was taking up some clothing and some T-shirts that our church had sent up. Also some money that we had collected for them.
Uh-huh.
And went up there one day when I could get the men to take me up that were busy working, so I had to go when they could take me in the morning and before I had my class in the afternoon.
And what do we have here? What do we have here?
Okay, that's just another view of the orphanage.
How big a building is this?
Oh, there were 2 big bedrooms, a kitchen, and of course because of the climate, they live outdoors a good share of the time.
How many children were housed in the orphanage?
There were 17 children, range in age from 5 to 15 years old.
Now here's another photo that you took. And what do we have in this view?
A pastor, and this little church was there, and he started the orphanage along with Peace Corps.
The Peace Corps, the orphanage you were just talking about.
The Peace Corps was there after the earthquake in 2010, and helped with that, get that orphanage started. And there's a young woman named Erin who's from Rochester, New York, and she works there too, but unfortunately she was in the States when I was there, so I didn't get to see her.
So she's there all the time, this Erin?
Usually, yeah, she's usually there.
Now, is this one of the residents of the orphanage?
Right. This little boy, as you can see, has a broken leg. He's got a cast on. The other children were all in school, so unfortunately I didn't get to see them. But he was there because of his broken leg. He got run over by a motorcycle. And he was there studying. You see, he's got a book there, and a woman was there helping him. And so I was able to meet with him anyway. His name was Joel.
What do you know about their schooling system down there? How many grades do they usually go through?
Only about half of the children get to go to school.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're just, the country is poor and they just don't have enough education for them.
So it's not universal education like in the United States.
Right, right.
And how many grades do they usually go through? Do you know?
I don't really know, to be honest.
Yeah.
They would go, if they're in school, they would go up through 12 grades.
Yes.
And but sometimes it takes them a long time because if there's hurricanes or things, they may miss school like for about 4 months.
Yes.
So quite often they're graduating from school at around age 20, 21.
Now, were the schools like the one you were teaching at, small one-room school affairs, or?
No, some of the schools are larger,
Yes,
hold a
larger
good number
buildings.
of students. And a lot of the churches have schools. There's a lot of schools from the churches.
So there's
dotted all around the
so
city of
there's
Port-au-Prince, yeah.
the schools run by the churches. Are there schools run by the government as well, or no?
Right, there are some public schools, but they're only about 50% of the children. So then that leaves a lot of children that don't go to school, and then there's a goodly number that have of churches over there that have schools.
Now, the schools, the children that don't go to school, is it because they have to pay a tuition? Is that
Right.
the
That's right. That's why there's sponsored. There's like the Free Methodist Church. We sponsor children, and individuals can sponsor a specific child, and you get their picture. And this year I didn't get to see our girls that I sponsor. We sponsor, but last year I was able to.
Now, here's a view of the countryside. This looks like it's a valley.
Right.
It's very steep.
When you start going up, of course, the word Haiti means mountainous. And so when you look down, it's really very steep. You'd have to be very careful going down, or you could slide. You'd slide down, you'd fall.
So
But there's like a path that weaves back and forth.
So did you climb to the top of a mountain, or was this a view from where?
This is a view from the orphanage and the road in front of the orphanage. And then I walked over a ways and looked down.
And
These were taken up.
The same view again?
Right. And pictures really don't do justice sometimes to the depth of something.
All right, so now we have here a picture of you with some men and a mundane item.
Right.
To us, at any rate, unglamorous.
Behind me is a water tank
Let's see.
that the missionaries
here.
gave so that they could have water nearby and didn't have to go so far. They used to have to go all the way down into that depth that I was looking down into to get their water.
So they'd have to walk some distance to draw water
Yes,
and carry
yes.
it back. And this tank,
So now they have that tank, and it's fed by rainwater from the roof. And also they had a truck come up and fill it to start with.
and where did the tank come from again?
The missionaries got the tank for them.
Did they? Now here's a view of some of the agriculture.
Right. They grow pinto beans.
And what are these? These are ladders?
Those are just furrows where they have
No, but
plowed.
is this a ladder here or something?
Trees, I believe.
Oh, I thought I saw
Oh, I
structure.
see. There's a tower thing like there. You know, I don't know what that is, to be honest.
But pinto beans now, is that a big crop? Or?
Yes, their big crops are rice and beans. They're staple food. This is a woman that works for the orphanage. She cooks. She cooks for the orphanage, and that's her granddaughter she's holding, or grandbaby. I don't know if it was, I think it was a little boy, actually.
Uh-huh.
And she was sitting out there holding him.
Did you get a chance to sample her cooking?
No, I didn't. She had a big pot on there, and I was cooking, but I didn't get a chance. We didn't have a lot of time.
Did you get to sample any of the local cuisine?
Yes,
And what do you like?
I like the rice and beans dish that they have, and they'll have tomatoes and cooked onions with it, and some vegetables, and it's very good. They do a good job.
Now, was there any meat that was served? or-
Very little.
Yeah.
Once in a while, there's a little lamb in meat
Yeah.
as meat in the dish.
And it's vegetable and rice. Any fruit?
Yes, they have a lot of fruit, bananas and mangoes, pineapple,
Uh-huh.
grapes.
Now, here's a colorful photo. What is this plant?
Flowers, bougainvillea.
Bougainvillea.
All right, they grow profusely around there. So even places that are very much a slum area and very bad looking will have those beautiful
They're
flowers.
brightened up by these flowers.
Right.
Now, here's a flea market, outdoor market of some sort.
Right. As you drive through the city, lots of clothing is for sale.
So these are just shops.
It
in the
looks like
street?
yard sales is what it
Yeah.
looks like all along. They will have clothing out there.
And is this new clothing, or is it used, worn? Or?
It seems to be new, new clothing. Someone said all the yard sales in Miami have set it over, so maybe it isn't all new. Plus, President Kennedy years ago had an agreement for our stores and to send over clothing that,
Department stores and such.
right, that when the season finishes,
Mhm.
all the clothing is sent over in bales,
So bales and these are
huge bales, and then they get over
seconds.
there and people individually probably purchase a bunch of clothes and then sell them.
Now, you mentioned that the story about them widening the main street of this town you were in, right?
In the city there, right in the heart of the city.
And this is a view, excuse me, this is a view of what?
They're building a bathroom. They cut off the whole front of this huge church that holds about 5,000 people.
All right, well, explain again what they did now. They decided they were going to widen the street.
Right,
And so
and they just came in with heavy machinery and just chopped down anything in the
that
way
was in the way of
on
the
either
widening.
side of the road.
Now, I assume they notified the owners of the buildings, or
Yes,
no?
they did, and they did say that one of the men with the heavy machine was a Christian and understood and worked with the pastor of that huge church to try and do as little damage to the rest of the building. So then the church had to put up a temporary wall because they took off the whole front side of the church.
And we have here what?
And that's looking out. You can see where the road is, the street, main street there in the city, and you can see that where they're widening, and someone is working with a wheelbarrow because a lot of it is done by hand. The one good thing about it was it creates a lot of work.
Now, these people, though, aren't civil service or anything that you said that how do they get these jobs?
I don't know.
I thought you said that earlier before we talked, they just show up and
Okay.
work and may get paid, may not, or did I
No,
misunderstand?
they get paid. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I misunderstood what you're
Okay.
talking about. And what do we have here?
This is their transportation is by Top,
And
what they call Top, and these are like pickup trucks with a top over the back and benches on either side.
Okay, so this is the rear view of
Rear
one.
view, you can see
And
people in
here's
there.
the side
Right.
view. Let's get a
Right.
shot. So it's a pickup truck, and it looks like it has a cab here.
Right. And you
Yeah.
climb in the back, and it's cheap transportation because you see people in them all the time. And
What would a fare cost?
I don't know, to be honest.
So you rode for free?
I never rode in one.
Oh, I thought that's how you got around. And we have another.
A lot of things are done outdoors. They're selling something there under that umbrella, probably food. You can see it was taken from the car.
Now it looks quite destitute. This neighborhood all bombed out, or
Well, there's just
broken.
still a lot of rubble around left, even from the earthquake in 2010. That was 4 years ago. But also, this might be down there where they're widening the street, too.
Now, has there been much progress to your eyes as far as the millions and millions of dollars that have been sent to Haiti after
Yes,
that
they're
earthquake?
working. They're just slow at it because they don't have a very large amount of heavy equipment.
And this is our last shot here, and we have some more construction.
Right.
Now, you went down to Haiti. You didn't go by yourself. You went with a group,
That's right. I went with Valley Chapel group that was going
Valley Chapel, which is located where?
in Warsaw.
And there was how many people in that?
There were 13 of us that went,
Uh-huh.
counting myself.
So you went and you taught at the school, and what did the others do?
I separated with them right at the airport. They went on in another direction, and they were helping to do some building on a church, I believe, and they also visited a prison. They also did a vacation Bible school, and I think those are the three main things that they did.
Well, we're just about out of time.
Okay.
There's the cliche, or not the cliche, but the observation that a teacher's taught by our students as
Oh,
well?
very much, yes.
And what did you learn from your students this trip?
Well, their questions are good, so it challenged me to look up some things for them. And also their delight in the Lord and their enthusiasm for their church and for their school.
Mm-hmm.
They're humble in that they they don't think the world owes them a living.
Uh-huh.
They're very grateful for whatever they get.
Yes.
And so that was nice.
Well, before we go, we have two pieces of artwork that you brought to us. And tell us about this painting.
I think this kind of captures a lot about Haiti. You see the things they carry on their heads, and the people are all packed in together, which is what you see when you're there, and the fruit and vegetables and things that they're selling.
And this was painted by a local artist?
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's a very nice painting. And you got this your last trip, huh?
That I got, yes. Not this time, but before.
And then we have one more piece of art. We have this wood carving. And maybe we can get a shot of this. And
This is very well done. As you can see, the artist was attempting to make his picture in wood from Leonardo da Vinci's The Last Supper.
uh-huh. There's a lot of detail in this.
Right.
And how much did this cost to be
I
crafts?
bought that when I first went in 1999, and I believe I paid $30 for it, American.
And that's a bargain for this piece.
Yes.
Just the work involved. Well, we want to thank you for coming in. Our guest tonight was Pastor Barb Mosher, who's the pastor at the Gainesville United Methodist Church, and we're pleased that she took the time from her schedule to talk about her mission trip to Haiti, which was in February of 2014.
Right.
This was your 7th trip down there.
Yes.
Are you going to go again next year?
Well, I never know until it gets just about time, and then I would like to.
Yes. Well, again, we want to thank you for coming in.
All right.
And I'm Kyle Adamczak. This is Letchworth Cable Access. And as always, we thank you for watching. Good night.